Hello everyone, welcome to SC2 Noob School. As always, I am your host, your teacher, your wizard Jesus, Trebus. Anyway, I've been getting a lot of requests from many of you to watch a low-level replay. The games I had been commentating and casting so far had been very top-tier players, but today we have some very not top-tier players. We have in the top position as the blue Terran Lad. And we're going to be watching this mostly from his perspective. So we are trying to learn good habits as a Terran player today. So I'm going to be pretty much entirely focusing on him. Centurion, you seem like a cool guy. You play Zerg. That's cool, I guess, but we don't really care about you today. So, Lad, what are you going to be up to? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just be analyzing this from the very beginning build order. He's getting his supply depot at 10. Perfect. That is perfectly fine. And since this is a low level replay, I know a lot of you are wanting me to talk about fundamentals, and the most fundamental thing that you can talk about with a 1v1 game is having good macro. And what does having good macro mean? It means basically being able to constantly produce SCVs. If you have a command center, it should be producing SCVs. At any point, if you go back and watch one of your replays, you should always be able to look at the command center and be like, yep, it's producing an SCV. Because if you can have a bigger economy than your opponent, then you can have a bigger army and you can win. Okay, so like the first tenet of good macro is constantly producing SCVs. So same if you're Protoss or Zerg, although it differs slightly because of that. And you can see already cutting SCVs. He's not getting SCVs 100% of the time that his command center is up. But he is doing a very smart thing and getting this orbital command really early. Mules are just that worth it. They're just so good. Each mule will mine about 270 minerals in its lifespan, so the orbital command pays for itself really, really well. Now, okay, this is something else that I've been seeing a lot in these low-level replays. I was searching around for about silver-level replays, and it seems like a lot of players love to try to get this wall up as absolutely early as possible. You notice this supply depot went down at 13 supply, and so now he's at 14 of 27. You know, he really didn't need to get this supply depot. There was nothing limiting him from supply. He was not about to reach his supply cap. The only purpose for the supply depot was to get a wall up, when in reality you don't have to rush to get this wall up. You can get your barracks up, you can get your orbital command up, and get this supply depot going up around 16 supply or so, and you'll still be fine against anything other than an extremely, extremely early pool. So really, there's no reason to rush to get your wall up. In fact, a lot of players I was seeing watching some of these replays, they would, build the barracks here somewhere, and then they would build supply depot, supply depot, supply depot, just one after the other, because they knew, oh man, if something comes up my ramp, I could lose the game, so I have to get my supply depot or my wall up as soon as possible. Not true. Not true. Okay, so if you're able to constantly produce SCVs or workers or whatever, I'm saying SCVs because we're talking Terran today, if you're constantly producing SCVs, you're going to have a lot of money, which brings you to the second part of having good macro, which is spending your money. You can see Lad is not doing the greatest job of it right now because he's got barracks that just sit here at times. If you've got a unit producing structure, for the most part, you want to be able to have a unit coming out of that unit producing structure 100% of the time. Well, I won't say 100% of the time. Most of the time you should have a unit coming out of that structure. Otherwise, why not just get this structure later? If you're not going to be using it all the time, you could just get it later. And you can see basically what's happening here. I'm going to go ahead and rewind a little bit. Here we go. We're at like 530, and you can see his money is high. He's at like 300, and so what's he doing? He's just throwing down tons of structures. He's throwing down another barracks. He's throwing down a command center. He's saying, oh man, I still got money, I gotta throw down another barracks. So in reality, this build order could be a lot smoother if he had if he was able to constantly produce out of every single one of his barracks. Also, looking back at the orbital command, there should be an SCV. You should be able to look in this window right here. How do I do that? You should be able to look in this window and see like SCV training. He should be like learning how to mine minerals in there. And while I get distracted about that type of stuff. Okay, so what is this? What is this? Pucklad, what is this? What's he at right now? He's got 3 barracks up, 4, his 4th on the way, and a command center coming up. And what's he got in terms of units? He's got 3 Marauders and 2 Marines. Whoop-de-doo. And he decides to go out for an attack. Don't attack with this many units. That's just asking for death right there. Especially when you know he did not rush to get those units out. They came out very slowly out of each of these barracks, and so they're not really going to be able to do anything. They basically, I'd say he, let's look at units lost. You know, he's basically just trading units right now. There was really no value in that, in my opinion. So what was happening, hold on, backing up just a slight bit again, what was happening while all that was going on? These buildings were not producing anything. Nothing coming out of any of these buildings. And he's up to 500 minerals right now. Not really where you want to be. If you have a lot of minerals in the bank, you should not be looking at that and saying, oh yeah, I got so much money, I'm doing so good. Because every one of those minerals that you have should be converted into something much more useful. If you find yourself with a lot of money, find something to spend it on. Like literally anything. Just spend it on something. If you're like off fighting a battle or something and you come back and you're like, oh my god, I have 2,000 minerals. That's horrible. You don't want to look at your minerals and say I have 2,000 minerals. If you have 2,000 minerals, seriously, throw down like 5 barracks. It's okay to do that. It's not good to get in the position of having 5,000 minerals if you, or 5,000, 2,000, 5,000 would be even worse, but it happens. If you find yourself in that position, just find any way to spend that money. Throw down some turrets if you have that much money, just in case. I mean, you need to be converting that money into your bank into something that's useful in the game. Money up here, money sitting in this little spot up here does nothing for you. It does nothing until you're building something out here in the actual game. So he is doing a good job. When his money was getting high, he got an expansion. That's another perfectly adequate reaction to having tons of money. You can just say, well, I'll just expand and lay down a whole bunch of more unit producing structures and just get even more money. Because you always want to be trying to have a bigger army than your opponent, and you do that by expanding more, having more workers, and you know, just having that good macro. See these barracks sitting here doing nothing, and he's got tons of money in the bank. I suspect he'll start queuing up units very soon. He is getting upgrades. Another good reaction to having too much money, particularly if you say you find yourself with tons of gas, is a better time when you could be getting lots of upgrades. And right now he's supply blocked. So what else can you do while you're supply blocked? Well, you're still trying to spend this money. You still want to spend that money, so he should be getting stim pack. He should be getting combat shield. He is doing a good job of getting these upgrades. However, I wouldn't recommend queuing up an upgrade like this, because that's lost money that's sitting right there. If it's sitting in this queue, it's already, your money has disappeared from up here, but it's not actually doing anything. It's just being held right there. So I wouldn't recommend queuing anything, really. It happens. I mean, even the best players will do it from time to time. And yeah, he really desperately needs to get unsupply blocked right now, because that's totally killing his production. You just can't produce anything. If you're supply blocked, make use of this call down extra supplies. Just getting supply blocked in the middle of the game. What?